Hey everyone, my name is Dennis Petrone. I'm going to talk to you about the quality of character, what it means to be purposeful. Um, a quote out of one of our books: successful coaches are prepared, organized, great coaches plan, persist, learn, and adjust. When you're purposeful, you're going to plan for what you're going to be doing for your practices, for daily, minute to minute, weekly, monthly. You're going to have a plan and a purpose for everything that you do, and it's very important as a coach to have that. If you don't, you really can get lost. You got to set the tone. Everything's got to be planned. Everything's got to have a purpose. You can't just go out there and do nothing. If you want a day for your guys or girls to go out there and have fun, well, it's got to be planned that you're having that type of day. To be purposeful, it means to have a purpose, be meaningful, be intentional. Okay, determination is really big when it comes to having a purpose. You're determined to do something um, with whatever it is your goal is to set out to. Our generation that we're coaching right now is they unintentionally go through the motions. They show up in school every day, and they go when the bell rings. They go to the next class. Their teacher tells them to do this, this, this. They get it done. They go to the next class. Often they don't really ask what they're doing it for. They're kind of programmed just to do what they're told to do. Um, Once we give them a purpose, something that they can follow and have a passion for. Perfect example is video games. Right now, big game that's out is Fortnite. All of my athletes are playing it. And when you give them a purpose and a mission, they get dedicated and they'll figure out how to try to reach that purpose and attain that goal. So, once we give them that purpose and that blueprint, they kind of take the reins from there, you'll find, if you make things purposeful for them to do. John F. Kennedy once said, efforts and courage are not enough without purpose and direction. You can have the most max effort player. He could be out there giving it his 100%, or she could be out there giving it her 100%, but if they don't have direction of where to put that effort, it's kind of useless. Another video link I have here is Nick Saban talking about a football camp. This is in 2011. And throughout this speech, he talks about investing your time rather than just wasting or just spending your time. So, an example, spending your time would be just sitting on the computer playing video games all day and not having anything really to show for it. Investing your time would be having a purpose for what you're going to use your time for. You'll see a quote towards the end of my presentation here that kind of shows how I feel about that as well. The benefits of being purposeful: athletes are going to work for their why. Why are they doing what they're doing? Are they just there to hang out, or they're actually working towards something? Athletes know what they're doing. It's not random. It's going to help the team out. I always try to explain to my athletes that what they're doing is going to help them in which aspects it's going to help them. I try to show them that. Athletes can remind themselves when times get difficult that they're doing what they're doing for a purpose and they're going to reach that ultimate goal. Some examples: detailed practice plans, uniform phrases and cues that you can give your athletes, such as what your goal is for the day. If your goal for the day is to swing down on the ball, is swing down, swing down, swing down. Right? Take that outside pitch to right field. Don't pull that. Swing down on it. Things of that nature. Constant reminders that teammates can remind each other. They look across the gym if we're in an indoor practice and a kid's having trouble, with his top hand, and that's something that we're working on that day. A player can call across the gym and say, "Hey, Joe, your top hand's coming off." Things of that nature. You have to practice with a purpose. You got to definitely have a purpose for everything that you're doing. If there's no purpose, if you're not practicing with a purpose, then there's no purpose to practice. You're not getting better. You're just playing, and that's not what we're looking to do. Okay, max effort is great, but without direction of that effort, it's not really going to get anybody better. A quick example you can see on the next slide: a purposeful practice a non-purposeful practice for hitting would be 15 batting practice pitches. Coach that throws 15 pitches. A purposeful one would be 5 inside pitches that we're going to pull, 5 outside pitches we're going to go the other way, and then 5 pitches we're going to try to hit a breaking ball or a changeup or something that's going to be the coach actually trying to throw a 2-strike pitch past the athlete to try to get them to work on those purposeful things. Then you can see for pitching and fielding, I kind of broke it down as well. There's just going out there and playing, and there's actual purposeful practice that we can do. Some other values that purposeful practice is going to help ignite is going to be hard work, focus, okay, being intentional, having passion, having confidence in what you're doing. You have confidence that you can hit that two-strike pitch because you know that you've been working on it all off season, all spring training, and you know when it comes to two strikes, you have to change your approach because there's a purpose to a two-strike pitch. You have to foul it off until you get something you can really handle. And something that I start off my preseason meetings with all of my athletes, whether it be football, baseball, basketball, if we're in the weight room, whatever we're doing, even if I have a phys ed class that we're starting off, is it's a prayer or a quote. I'm not exactly sure where we got this from to begin with, but Coach Bear Bryant, which was probably one of the best college football coaches of all time, this was one of his go-to quotes. He kept it on him in his wallet, and he kind of lived by this. It's called A New Day. This is the beginning of a new day. God has given me this day to use as I will. I can waste it or use it for good. What I do today is very important because I am exchanging a day of my life for it. When tomorrow comes, this day will be gone forever, leaving something in its place I have traded for it. I want it to be gain, not loss. Good, not evil. Success, not failure. In order that I shall not forget the price that I paid for it. I kind of set the tone with my teams here, and I let them know whatever you're going to be doing on that particular day, you're not getting that time back. So really something for them to sit and think about is, what am I using this time for? And going back to what Coach Saban says, am I investing this time or am I just spending it? Is it going to give me a dividend, a return on the back end, or is it just time spent and I really don't know what I used that day of my life for? So I really try to instill my athletes having a purpose. In conclusion, to make sure you're carrying out the daily task with purposeful nature is extremely a valuable character trait. Again, I know I kind of repeated myself, but we shouldn't be doing things without a reason, especially when it comes to a practice and obviously game day, things like that. Everything should have a purpose behind it, not just because someone that you know or someone that coached you did it, so now you're going to coach someone else to do it. Find the reason behind it. Go contact that coach and say, hey, coach, we did this particular warm-up only on this particular day. Is there a reason for that, or is it just on a whim? And more often than not, your coach will tell you, we did this particular warm because the purpose was to warm this muscle up or wake, this type of chain up so you can get after this type of activity. So with our purpose that we give our athletes, it's going to give them a direction that we want to go with that practice today or that game or that game plan. It's going to motivate them because you're going to give them something they're attaining. Your purpose is to hit 5 pitches outside to right field if they're righty, obviously left field if they're lefty, opposite way. So if a kid gets an outside pitch and rolls it over and grounds it to the shortstop or the second baseman, they know that they didn't do the right thing there, and they have the motivation that next pitch to go where they need to go with it. And it gives them a blueprint to create a habit that consistently they're doing things with a purpose. Okay, I try to tell my athletes, don't do things just to get them done. If you're doing things just to get them done, then you're kind of wasting your time, my time, the team's time. Do things with a purpose to get better. Everything has a purpose that I'm going to give my athletes. Every task has a purpose. And hopefully becoming purposeful individuals will help them find what their purpose is at the next level. It's not, majority of them, their purpose is not going to be athletics. But I hope that they figure out enough about themselves and they acquire the trait of being purposeful that at the next level they know what they are going to do and they have a purpose that they're going to fulfill. Thank you.